In this video, we will prove that any group of people can be partitioned into two subgroups such that at least half the friends of each person belong to the subgroup of which that person is not a member. So we have to prove that in any group of friends where the relationship of friendship is such that if A is friend of B, then B is also a friend of A, and no person is called a friend of himself. In that situation, we have to prove that we will always be able to divide that group into two subgroups such that at least half the friends of each person belong to the subgroup of which that person is not a member. In other words, the number of friends every person has in the opposite subgroup is higher or equal to the number of friends he has in his own subgroup. So for example, for this person, he has only one friend, and that friend is in the opposite subgroup, so it's okay for that. But for this guy, the number of friends he has in his own subgroup is actually higher, so we don't want that case. In the final subgroup which we want to create, final partition which we want to create should be such that no such person exists. So let's do one thing. Let's find all such person who have more friends in his own subgroup than the number of friends in the opposite subgroup. So we will move all those people one by one to the opposite subgroup. So if we move this person to the opposite subgroup, what will happen? Then the number of friends he will have in his own subgroup is only one, and this person will have two friends in the opposite subgroup. If this happens, then we have to, when we move these people to the opposite subgroup, we have to do one other thing, and that is tracking the number of friendship between people of different subgroups. For example, there are two friendship relationships in this picture that are between people of different subgroups. This relationship, and this relationship. So let's track what happens to the number of such relationships, such friendship relationships. So if one person moves from this side to this side, then this will no longer be a friendship between two opposite subgroups, but there will be two new friendship between opposite subgroups. So the number of friendship between people of different subgroups will always increase whenever we will move these guys who don't meet the final condition we want to be met from their own subgroup to the opposite subgroup. So whenever we will move all these guys to the opposite subgroup, this number of friendship between the people of different subgroup will always increase. Think about it. And what can be the maximum number of friendship between people of different subgroups? That is obviously limited. If the total number of friends, total number of people in this group are n, then obviously that number is maximum nc2. It cannot be more than that. Because that number is limited, these activities of moving people from one subgroup to another, whoever doesn't meet the condition, needs to be done only limited number of times. So obviously we will always be able to find such subgroup. Screen, you will find a formal proof if you will read in English.